All right, here we are, folks. Welcome. Okay, so time limit. So straight to the point. This is prologue for Licia.
Lawler.
I made sure I have ad block as well. All right. Let's see. Okay. It, in the calming music is too loud for me.
Alright, take two.
Right. By a peaceful day in the small town of Retina. Far far from the majority of the Ambrian kingdom, and almost isolated by the mountains, but safe by all means from any of the possible threats, or so have been told by your mother and father of the Davokar forest. Take a gleam into the lens of a small of an older man reeling up some large fishes for the day, and along with the small girl that seems to be focused in what this man has to say. And for 1,000 years she has slept. Her nightmares have been violent, but manageable. You are not to blame, but you are guilty just the same. And blame aside, your suffering will neither be milder nor greater than any others. When Davokar awakens. And that legend, sweetie, is why your mother and I chose to move here.
Wide-eyed and raptured, nod, nod, nod.
Looks like we'll be able to eat good for the next month. I think your friend is done with her chores. Be sweetie, and here he tosses a large net worth of fish over to you. Give those to the smith for me.
Okay. Just gonna start hobbling, right? Got it. It's precarious. I might fall over.
And this is a decently sized town, probably holds at least about a few little over 100-200 people. Everyone can recognize one another. this town, this town has primarily been able to sustain itself off of fish and has made its merits off of any minerals that could be found through the mountains. And as you rush as best you can over to the smith, you can see that he is still. You can see that he's working on. He's working on repairing most of the pickaxes and nets. Well, and a small girl seems to still be tinkering around with a dagger and hammer. Well, welcome, Alicia. Welcome. Is that my dinner?
She nods.
All right, Rava. Rava. Done with the work today. Go on. Play. Go on. Play with you. Play with Alicia until night falls.
I hold it over my head, which makes me even more precarious, and I lean left, lean right, and I try to put it on the shelf.
And as you start to thrust towards to lean it, he just grabs it and puts it at a higher shelf. Okay. And she gives one last tink to the dagger. And sheaths it, puts it to her pocket, and starts to run over to you. Right. Oh god, it's so weird.
Playing a little girl.
Well, just playing younger, because there's usually little kids that play adults, and it's just I don't know.
Right? It's backwards.
Yeah, it's a backwards thing. But
my baby character is so happy right now and innocent, and she has round cheeks.
Yeah. All right, Alicia, come on. I found a new playground.
I follow her. Just excitedly running behind her.
And you run through, and the cut underneath my gums seems to become more noticeably painful as the days go by. But as you two run off, we see a montage of their traverse through hopping over stones, over fast running water, and one of you almost tragically slip, and the other almost in a panic also catches them safely, and just give a breath of, oh, that was close, to just swing through the trees before eventually you find what appears to be almost like a distorted alcove to the side of the mountain, where there seems to be a series of holes, almost sponge-like, throughout this entire wall, stretching until the mountains start to touch the trees again. And these holes are, well, sizes where y'all can stand, barely stand inside to fit.
Oh.
I got these are also these are all tunnels, and they seem to just lap around until you enter one. You just exit one of the others.
Oh.
This could be a hideout. They can never know which one we'd end up out of.
You're squatting down, like looking in.
And you can hear a couple of like little chatterings of rodents.
Oh. Rat! I squint against the rat. Because, you know,
Rat.
get into food stores.
Yeah. Rat.
Damn it, it's one of those Skaven! I draw my gun.
What gun?
I shoot him.
We don't have guns here!
Gun, bang.
No!
Tunnel holes. Sick.
But,
You know, very much Ash's, like, wait, no.
Not
Alicia, goodness. Old world, forgive me. Alicia is like is kind of trepidatious to these types of things, but you know, very like it's exhilarating because it's scary.
But this place also seems to be very good because now I have a secret that I can tell you. I can show you, and no one will be able to know, not even the trees.
I look warily at the trees.
One of them has one of them's poorly photoshopped of my face.
Just start speaking English.
And she pulls you inside.
Sick. I do follow.
So you know how your parents were adventurers?
Mm-hmm.
At some point? So my pops was my uncle was showing me was telling me about how they also have some of their stuff recorded, and so I snuck into your attic.
She's a little worried about that, but I think she gets
the attic
bulldozed by how excited Rob is.
The attic, the place where where strictly by your parents do not go up there.
Yeah.
You face the wrath worse than a frustrated father, an angry mother. And I found this about 2 months prior. She pulls out a book, a small book. And inside are very tiny, tiny scriptures. Like perhaps no more than the book can probably fit inside your palm.
Oh, it's like a New Testament, it's like Babe Blue small New Testament Bibles. Yeah, they're like the size of a hand.
Yep. She goes through. Apparently they were able to cast. Apparently your mom was able to cast spells, or cast these mystical powers.
So cool. Yeah.
And I found this one. I thought it'd be pretty neat. So, okay, let's see. And she starts to almost grunt, almost make a forward, like struggling grunt of effort. And she puts her hand out to the wall, and you can see that her hand begins to, for but a moment, glow before enveloped before it gets enveloped again by the surrounding darkness. Now that you guys are inside the tunnel, and before it but before it becomes lit again, but from what appears to be the part of the wall that she touched now glows in an almost luminescent blue and purple-ish manner. And through looks up and upon observing it, you're struck with a mix of things. Awe, awe
Just
being
leaning
one,
over, and you're just like, whoa.
and the other is awe, awe in a sense of when observing it, something has clicked inside your mind, and almost as excited when a kid is able to figure something out through their own observations. Excitement of me seeing it, but perhaps a grasp as to what this could be has seeded itself inside of young Shia's mind.
Time to fall to corruption then. Right here, right now. Turn into a wraith.
Though I don't know why, but whenever I do these things, it usually leaves my hand to look a little bit weird, and she and through using the luminescent light, you can see that her hand her hand is almost gray. Her hand's now grayish with what it almost looks to be like lichen or mosses coating her hand, almost taking in the shape of almost in like a patched up, battered gloves. But it's hard to move my hand. It's hard to move it too. It's almost like it's made of stone, but it usually goes away before I head home for dinner, so as long as I don't do anything too drastic, but it seems to be harmless otherwise.
Just wide-eyed examining the moss. Like I'm trying to move her hand a little bit, but like it doesn't, right? Or it's like it's difficult to move, right?
Yeah, and when you touch her hand, it doesn't feel like flesh and flesh anymore, flesh and bones. It feels like you're just touching a statue.
Whoa. How did you do that? Did you just read the word?
I thought of some words, but it was mostly through reading it. Seems like depending on people, let's see, depending on people, people's resolutions, if they think hard enough, their desires will happen. I think so. And I wanted there to be a little bit more light in this tunnel, so that you can see what I'm doing.
Again, just wide-eyed, just drinking it all in.
Though it starts to, though it says, though it does say warning somewhere here, but
I can't read.
I don't know, I don't, yeah, I can't read. I can't read.
Oh,
The words are getting too big. Wanna give it a try?
sure.
Okay.
But like,
So
how?
deep. It says to breathe for a long time. Deep breaths, and as put forward, put forward. Uh, uh, met. Put forward a strong desire for a certain thing to happen.
Hmm.
And with some and with some connection or force, I don't know.
Man, she knows so many words.
Eh, it may have, and before she could finish reading the instructions, you hear the sound of insert rat death,
Ah, start him.
and you look over, you can see that that it's that there's a corvid.
Whoa. It's a bird. Whoa.
I see those sometimes. Oh, I see those sometimes here. Um, my uncle calls them ravens.
I just tilt my head. Cool. You, you said, think strongly?
Uh, strongly. And it says, make. I asked me. I asked my uncle what this part meant, and it's think strongly, like think of it and make sure no one can change your mind.
Blink, blink.
Make sure no one makes you want to do takesies backsies or something.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can get the bird to come to me. And I close my eyes. Yeah, and I like a peek, an eye open, and I look at her. And you have to say words too, right?
Um, uh, yeah, you can say words for a stronger effect,
I
but it
scrunch
says
my
you have
head.
to be
I close
really
my eyes
good.
again.
It says you have to be really good. So, so if you maybe if you're really good, maybe you can do it now. It took me a month to do the rock glow thing.
I scrunch my face up as I think. I have to figure out what I'm gonna say. I take a deep breath, following Rava's instructions, or at least the instructions that she read to me, totally one for one from the book.
Yeah, and not just my kidlation.
Yeah. And then I try to cast some magics, um, and as I do so, to make it stronger, to make sure it works, because I don't know how, like, you know, in my mind right now, it's like, oh man, I gotta. If it took her that long, I guess I gotta like get as strong, like do everything I can. So like she scrunches up her face and she ignores everything. Right, the only person there is Avara, and like if my mind can't change, Avara doesn't want my mind to change. In fact, she wants my mind to stay exactly where it's like where it is. She'd be encouraging me to do so. So like all the world fades away until it's just the bird and maybe like the thing it's scratching at, myself and Avara. Um, and then I say in a kid voice, um, she walks in beauty like the night. of cloudless climes and starry nights, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade, one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace, for which in wave, which waves in every raven tree's tress, or softly lightens over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and over that brow, so soft, so calm yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, the tells of days and goodness spent. A mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. And then I magic. Just
All right. Yeah. Right. So this will make a. I'm gonna ask this. Make a resolute check.
Oh man. Okay. Here's a wait. I have to roll below my number, right? That's right. So, first roll. It's just a D20. I'm going to get a natural 20. Are you ready?
Let's see.
Okay. I succeed by 1. My resolute check, that is.
All right. And you can feel the even with your eye with your eyes shut, you can sense the senses of light from the senses from the senses of light from the luminescent glow onto the stones fade out into pitch blackness, and in the muffled back you can hear, huh? It's supposed to last longer before a large before a flash of heat of just heat and light begins emanating from you, and to where you can see to where even with your eyes like tight shut, you can see the skeletal systems to your hand.
Oh.
And of the bird and of the raven in front of you. Before in an almost distorted peel, in almost a distorted peel of the void, a thin spread. The shape of the raven spreads thinly, as it almost feels as though it's being pulled towards you by intense force. And you can almost feel as though your it feels as though your lungs are fighting or fighting in your chest, as though it's as though the wings have taken that over and is trying to flap. Before this mesh of chaos ensues into your mind of the ravens, of the flash of not only your experiences but the ravens. You can see where he's flown. You can see what it has eaten. You can see for a brief moment the image of a masked woman staring at you from a balcony.
Okay.
Before you flicker back to reality with flickered back into reality, feeling as though you have held your breath the entire time.
Just sharp breath in. Yeah, I hit the ground with my small form. Just blinking tears out of my eyes.
Alicia.
I look around.
And you turn back. You can see that you can see that she is laying on the ground. She's laying on the ground, and there seems to be some blood, and she's like at the edge of a wall, and just right above the wall, you can see that there was a crack, almost as though there was impact. Just now.
Panic. I'm gonna go over to her. Is she? Just fear. There isn't really any coherent thought anymore. So just like, uh oh.
You're really good. Don't worry. It doesn't hurt as much as I thought. Though I can't seem to move.
Uh-oh. Abraham is freaking out now. That's not good. I'm gonna go get help, is what she said.
Right.
Like frantically.
I'll be taking a nap here.
Don't run.
And when you got out, the clear sky is now it's now cloudy. Doesn't seem like it will rain, but suddenly it was just a whole lot of cloud.
I barely even clock it as anything. As I'm running back home, I'm gonna get my dad.
And as you rush to your pops, you can see that he too alongside. As you run through town, you can just see the town seems to be in now confusion due to a bunch of distraught mishaps happening, just occurring to them, such as the farmers' crops for sale has wilted or rotted. Though again, you pay no mind, but you do recognize that there is some sort of chaos, and you start to hear some screams, uncertain as to why, as you run to your father, who you can see his whole fishing dock seems to have been carried away by the water, by the river.
Dad. I'm just pulling at him, trying to get his attention.
Not sweet. What in Prios's name
Robbie,
happened to you?
Robbie, we were in. Just
Bravo! What happened to you? As he grabs hold of you, you can feel almost like a pulling pain from your arms, and you notice that you have. And looking back, you now notice that you have feathers streaked across your arm.
Oh, that's no good. Lacey though, she like tears are starting to well up as everything's coming crashing at her at once. And she explains that we were in the cave and she
Deep breaths.
had magic.
Deep breaths now.
Yeah.
Just tell me what happened. I promise you I won't be mad.
Deep breath. And that's a success on the resolute check. Go, tiny girl, you got this. She composes herself. She is resolute in her composure, as it were. And Arava found a book, and she found it in the attic. And I know we weren't supposed to go there, but
his eyes wide open. Where is she?
And she starts this way.
She picks you. She picks you up and puts you. She puts you, in the child position, like you're sitting in between his, like you're sitting behind his neck. And he's holding your legs.
And I point.
And think about it now. You always knew that your dad was fast, but but you've never seen him run like this.
Yeah.
And as he runs at some point though, he yells he yells at the town to notify your mother as soon as possible. And eventually you reach the cave, and as you walk in, your Pops has to crunch down and crawl his way through.
I keep I bring him to where she was last. Big open.
Okay, and as he crawls through, you eventually do see her, and the puddle of blood seems to be larger now.
Uh-oh.
And her dress, at least her outfit is completely soaked.
The damage to small children makes my soul hurt.
Okay. Right, sweetie. Hey, if there's another way out, you take that. You take that. I'm gonna pull her.
She doesn't like she's conflicted right now. She's hesitating because she does not want to leave Dad because Dad is good.
And sweetie, I cannot hold you both. I cannot hold you both. You need to get out and go ahead.
She swallows and nods again, fighting back tears, and she starts running again.
And eventually, as you're running back to town, once you're about 3/4 way there, your father catches up.
Damn, he's fast. That's at the bottom of her brain.
And as he runs by, he swoops you up and carries you almost like a luggage, kind of you're curled around his arm underneath his pit.
Yeah.
And he just mumbles to himself a little bit, and you see it again. You see it again, but only his boots. Only his boots seem to glow, and in a blink of an eye, and almost to your senses, in the blink of an eye, you're already back back inside your house.
Mm. Just deep panic. All in worry for Rob.
And you can see that he starts to clear out the table and puts puts Arava on top of it and starts to work around. He starts to grab tools in the pantry. Yes, pantry.
I'm following him around. I don't want to be away from Dad. Dad, help.
And what was and where's the book?
Just completely. I don't know. Maybe in the cave still, or in the hole.
So it was a book. Oh dear.
It was about this big, small. It looked like a church book, kind of.
He grits his teeth as he's still working on her. If it were anything else, if it were anything else, your mother would be more forgiving.
Oh no! Oh no! Uh-oh! That's bad for the Abraham. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, and that stops. Like the fear changes from like worry to like I'm afraid of what my mom's gonna do.
Cause you see, sweetie, that book is not ours. And as he pulls out a needle, and inside it you can see see a mysterious purple liquid.
Whoa, suspicious.
And he turns her to her back, and when he does that, you can hear like a scream of you can hear a scream of agony, or a muffled scream of agony, as she does have something in her mouth to keep her. She does have something in her mouth, like a stick, like a thick stick or something. You know, because
again,
we got
something to bite down onto.
Don't worry, sweetie. With this, you should be able to move again. Should. Inject. And he stabs him into. He stabs into her back, where the spine, where the spine area is, and.
Yep.
And given, and upon doing that, she seems to have gone unconscious. He turns her back around, and
as a super worried,
he
like in her mind she did this.
He just lets out a hefty sigh and leans back, slouches onto the nearby chair to where he almost knocked the chair over with him.
Is she gonna be okay?
She'll be okay. She's not gonna die. She's not gonna. Nothing bad will happen to her. Nothing worse will happen to her now, sweetie.
Big worry.
And he gives a glance up and down at you.
Fear. Now. Like she still thinks
yeah, he gives you when you look at him, you don't see like an ounce of anger or any anger, disappointment, or anything from him. Just just worries. And
Okay.
yeah, at least you can. What's let me go back to your character sheet. Let's see. Okay, vigilant at 10. You can see that you can see that he's trying because kids are like weirdly like very good at
They
perception.
don't have the words, but they're super perceptive. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Or like they're like
you
to the
notice that
social.
he is trying his best to to be calm as often or as much as possible. But you can tell that he is very worried. He's very worried. It's not your fault, sweetie. All right. She gets up. He gets up and goes over to you, and picks you up and hugs you.
I come back. Easiest character choice of my life.
It's not your fault, sweetie.
Smaller worry.
So, how many times did you use did you use Mystic?
I think it was once. I didn't use the book. And then she
Once?
explains.
Once, huh? You really are like your mother.
What's that supposed to mean?
Amazing mystics at the start, or at the very least promising.
I didn't even get the bird. Can't be that good.
Gua.
Huh? Oh.
You can see the bird is outside and is standing outside him at the window.
Oh. Actually, there he is.
And you can see that the tips of its feathers are now the tips of its feathers of its black feathers are now that of your shadow color.
Oh.
Now, you don't know what your shadow color is. You don't know what a shadow is, but
yes,
whatever your shadow color is for your that you put onto your character sheet, that's the color at the tip end of its feathers.
Uh-oh. I forgot that part. Let's see. Free spirit.
It's tied with personality, but also to some extent party affiliation as well.
I see.
Or at least ethnicity, nationality, something like that. For example, like Ambrians of the Empire, at least, have like some sort of like metallic color, so silver, gold, like those kind of colors. Barbarians are more naturey colors, and other colors can exist, though they insinuate different things. Usually not so welcoming to folks who can see it. But you don't have, the color could be decided later. Just letting you know that is the flavor appearance change to this raven.
All right.
And what you call it?
The base shadow is dictated by the formula resolute minus corruption. The value is higher than the total corruption value. The base shadow is strongest and brightest. Huh.
And while he comforts you, he tries the best he can to tell you more about mystics. About what mystics are, and the stuff around it.
Mm.
While you may not be able to retain most of it, he at the very least got what he emphasized down. Using these things can cause corruption to the ignorant and to those that are consumed by evil or darkness. And sweetie, and like sweetie, you're not evil, all right? You're not on the dark side.
Yep.
You didn't know.
Oh.
No one can be mad that. No one should be mad that you didn't know any better. It's just an almost tragic shame that it had to be the small book.
Nod.
If you have it on you, Miss Sweetie, hand it over.
I look. I mean, is it in my pocket?
Tap, tap, tap. The window tap.
Oh.
And you can
I
see
look to the bird.
the bird seems to have something underneath its feet.
I point to the bird.
He goes up. Oh, well, there it is. And as he grabs the book, you didn't really get to see the cover or anything of this book in the cave, given how dark it was, and she had it open to where you can see, but it has a menacing look to it.
Like JoJo menacing.
Like the Lich's Necronomicon kind of menacing.
Oh, that's bad. Oh.
In miniature form.
That's very much not good.
And he flips around the pages, and it's just yeah. And a couple times and at some point he stops, having such a serious look on himself, as he probably went to a page that maybe Arava doodled over. Or...
Yeah, doodle, or like a big circle, and it says flowers, and because it's in Latin, right? And like she can't read Latin, but she can make the sounds, something like that.
Well, what you, if everything that has happened, so, sweetie, to let you know in what happened, so, so what you invoked was a large scale of, how do I say this, bad luck to happen to a lot of people.
Oh.
And he looks over to his fishing dock that is no longer there.
Uh-oh. Oops. Sorry.
You didn't know, sweetie. Pops would just have to fish with the spear for the time being.
Just some Pantheon music in the background.
But you start to hear the kind of door banging that can only insinuate
Deep violence.
Yeah, violence, anger, the kind of banging volume, the banging where it's startling to the tongue stinging.
Mm.
And before Pops could even get up, the mom walks in and your mom walks in and goes over to check on Arava.
I shrink away from my mom.
Don't stand. Don't stand behind your pops.
I don't want to, but she does so and looks down.
Uh, the two your parents start to exchange a conversation between each other before Arava's parent or Arava's uncle, the blacksmith, and
Oh, now I
aunt
really want to hide.
show up. And they start discussing between each other before your mother before your mother gets slapped by Arava's aunt.
Mm.
And they come and the aunt comes inside and gives you a glare before she picks up Arava and walks out. And for the briefest moment, you can only hear. You try to listen. Maybe you try to listen in, but you were only able to
Mm.
hear from your dad that she will live, but it might be difficult for her to walk for
Mm.
a very long time, if ever.
Mm.
And then you know what? Screw it. Screw it. So
Just start playing KDA.
no. um, over the course of the next few weeks, has been you have been kept in the low from everyone else until your mother eventually is able to alleviate you of majority of your visual symptoms.
All
Though,
right,
though,
sick.
though to her orders, do not let anyone else beyond this town see see this until you are see this until you unless you're in a barbarian town.
Yeah, 100% following that.
All right, because I have already and she I've I have already broken my oath, my faith to because you are my daughter.
Years.
If
Start.
words of this come out, I may never you may we may never be able to see each other again. And if we do, one of us has to die.
Oh man, let me see. Okay. No tears, but lots of sniffling.
All right.
She very obviously doesn't want to be apart from her mother or never see her again.
So as long as you don't get caught, as long as they don't tie, as long as they don't tie you back to me, things will be okay. Things will be okay. Think, things will not be okay.
Said the DM.
Yeah, things will not be okay.
And things were very much not okay from there on in.
From there on, it, an inquisition, mass inquisition has occurred within the Ambrian Empire, and now witch hunters make regular checkups on towns.
Oh, that's not good.
And and eventually over time you realize that your mother is a witch hunter.
Oh, oh, that explains a lot.
Uh, and she has been given she has been trying her best to handle things, but eventually another person has taken her spot in regards to inspecting this town.
Mm,
And at that point, she has decided to send you away.
terrible.
And send you away for to keep you alive.
Oh,
And since that incident, you had never seen Arava again.
big sad.
All right, next scene.
All right,
uh,
that's okay. Just let me wipe away my mascara.
uh, insert enough years to pass by to your character's current age.
All right,
Could
time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Alicia is grizzled now. The fact that she effectively, if she ever interacts with society, she needs to treat everybody with suspicion, has kind of made her even quieter than when she was a kid. Now she's like toughened, right? There's a certain toughness that comes with being a farmer, right? You can do everything; it's just work, and that's kind of what she's at now. And her particular profession means that she can do anything that you need her to. And I ain't talking about a lady of the night. I'm talking about a lady of the cloak and dagger. But she has been working as a not so much as a hitman, but like as like a bodyguard, a bouncer, because of her particular skills with either sussing out suspicious individuals, and or just being like strangely strong enough to do what she needs to do. She never misses with her arrows if she ever needs to fire them, and she's really good at sussing people out.
And
she's not the strongest out there, but in combination with her inability to back down, it makes up for her strength.
Yeah, and and given the time crunch, I couldn't really play up the actual like witch hunt thing. So
Yeah.
let's see. Now to this part. You can't.
Oh, what was the witch hunter's name though?
The witch hunter that took your mother's spot.
Yeah.
Um.
I presume she has it out for me. Like there would be people introduced in that witch hunt, right? Which would be relevant later? Question mark. If not, that's fine too. But
let me.
just want to make sure that we're not missing anything.
Yeah, no.
Just because of the time crunch.
Yeah, no. That NPC in specific is not important. I sort of highlighted to myself a bulletin of what one, the video needs, but also most importantly, what you need to know before the first session.
All right, sick. Excellent.
And obviously, still sprinkle a little bit of the world in.
Yeah.
And so we are now in a bustling.
Boston.
Bustling.
All right.
Let's see. Share, copy.
Hi, my name is Abraham's character. I'm here to kick ass and take names, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Tone shift, huge tone shift, but you know, we're pogging.
Well, I mean, it's less about Ash and more so about the setting.
Oh, I see.
If it was more Ash thing, I was thinking of just making like any Ash tracks would be more violin focused. Violin.
At the same time, this is a pretty funny contrast between like the quiet and reserved nature, but in reality, she's bawling out of her mind.
Yeah.
So I saw some of that either way.
Yeah, I was thinking of making this the childhood music, but it's just like I don't think she's that wild. So
I mean, I suddenly could be. Like, I'm real quiet, but I do backflips and stuff.
Yep. But we transition to now your character in a bar. Let's see. But I make sure I have these things in the up and ready. Okay. All right. Oh. So we transition to now you in an active tavern where folks are now passing where a bunch of other sell swords and mercs trading drinks with each other, eating together. Where's your character in amidst of all of this?
Well, is it the beginning or the end of the day?
It is the end of the day, and more so specifically, it's the end of the day, the night before you're to head out.
Oh, okay. In that case,
to
it's
head out on an excavation mission.
Yeah, and then in that case, I'm just sort of like enjoying the vibes of the tavern. You know, I've got myself a nice mug of ale. You know, I might have had a little bit of something stronger to sort of loosen myself up to work off the nerves. But I'm moderately pleasant. Is where I'm at. You know, the big guy at the end of the bar, he won't hurt you, but he could.
Yeah. And to think that all these folks could drink and eat together like this, but the next day they could be at each other's throats.
Mm-hmm.
That's professionals have standards.
Be polite. Be efficient.
Have a plan
to kill everybody you meet.
Like the thing is, when unironically, I think that's how their motto is here.
That is hilarious.
And the drink especially is more so just in the event that they don't make it out, they at least had a good night beforehand. But and you can see your you can see your squad captain approach you with a meal. Your squad captain, who's also a scout. Yeah, who's also a scout. Niles.
Oh, Niles. Ooh. All right. I just smile in greeting and warmly accept the food.
Right? We'll be getting two new recruits on the morrow.
Just roll my eyes and I take a spoonful of whatever he put in front of me. Like obvious disapproval.
Look, this. All right, look, sir. This is. This is a simple excavation, right? We let the extractors and the excavators in. We keep them alive. They come out with all the goods. We leave. Simple. It's easy as that. All right. You'll be assigned with one of them, and I'll be assigned with the other. Now, let's. Can you explain to me what the hell happened last time?
I think back to what happened last time.
The shiny incident.
She takes a breath in, stops, breathes out, takes another breath in as if she's gonna start to speak, stops, and then my raven starts to try is trying to sneak in, like trying to get like the turkey leg, and I shoo him away. It was valuable.
It was enough. While valuable as it may be, it almost you almost caved us in.
Okay, so what? Broken bones can be fixed.
Broken bones can be fixed. Suffocation is not how I wish to go.
You can hold your breath. And plus, you made it out. Consider it payback for when you saw me naked, yeah?
I don't think seeing someone naked warrants a death sentence.
No, I do.
Madam, you would strip a person naked of their goods and would see them naked, but you don't see them wishing death upon you.
I take another spoonful, and this time I take a strip off of the turkey leg and I toss it to the bird. But I was so helpless. I lean onto his shoulder, all alone, with nothing to my name, stumbling out of the woods.
Madam, you have better equipment than the good number of us.
Not good enough. And then my eyes gleam in the same way, like that got us in trouble last time.
Yeah, and it's because of you that we had to pay the incompetence fee.
Brother, you would have gotten the incompetence fee to begin with.
With the recruits, yeah. You and I's track record now. You and I share the same track record. It's regardless of whether or not you were there. Yes, I would have gotten an incompetence fee. You just added more to it.
I shrug again. I didn't hear you complaining about the extra connections we got because of the shiny that I brought. And plus, give it a couple weeks, our reputation will recover. I'm literally the best.
If you were, we wouldn't have to worry about the incompetence fee, and not only do we not have to worry about the incompetence fee, we would have sponsorships by now.
Incompetence would be on the part of the incompetence E. They're charging us because they're bad.
They're charging us because of the damn laws of Ambria.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you not get it? the people who run these halls, right? Not the ones that are employed and servicing at the counter. No, the people at the top are involved with the Ambrians.
I just smile and shrug. So what? We're the ones on the ground. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and we can't do anything about it.
And does that not piss you off?
Yeah. But what am I gonna do? Bring calamity to a town? No. Of course not. You think me? You think I'm capable of that?
He gives you like the burrowed frown look of yes.
Listen, all we have to do is guide a couple of know-nothing nobodies. And after that, it'll all be good.
Look, just don't let your habits fuck us up this time.
I have no idea what you mean. I have been an angel.
An angel in black.
Damn straight,
Sure.
pretty boy. I tear off another piece of my chicken leg and I throw it to the bird.
Just don't get hungover. And he starts to walk off.
I look down to my bird. He's kind of strung up tight, don't you think?
The bird shakes his head.
You too? I can't believe you. Anyway.
He starts to eat at the he starts to eat at a piece of the meat.
Yeah, I let him this time. All alone, day before expedition. There shouldn't be anything too sharing in these places. I hope. Ugh. I shake my head, trying to clear myself. I'm gonna push away the rest of my drink. Yeah, that's definitely.
And we will transition into the following day. Let's see.
It's the Legend of Zelda, like cacao sound effect.
Where is it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next day, yeah. Next day, you meet up with Niles, and the two recruits alongside with some of the excavators as you are now traveling along. All right. So, right. So, this big fella right here is Azusa.
Nod. Integrating.
And as for this little one over here, she goes by Jasmine.
Nod. An acknowledgement.
And
I look to him like, well, which one's mine?
He points at the big one. He points at the giant.
I just look him up and down.
So this person's an orc.
Oh.
And you can see that he has an overall brawny build, but you can see that he holds he seems to be wielding a staff of some kind. of some sort, alongside with a lot of ornaments and headpieces on him. And as for the little one, Jasmine, primarily short in height, but appears to be one of them nimble on their feet. Nimble on their feet and quick trigger finger, an accurate one, mayhaps.
Yeah.
At least that's what would their ideal build be. Get me.
Damn. Just a moment. This Orc Knights be ballin', dude.
Yeah, no, they got good soundtracks.
Man. I am crushing with this saxophone. Absolutely incredible.
This is the lobby music to one of the roguelikes.
Lobby music.
Yep. The lobby music to the roguelike. Yep.
Whew. All right. I'll have to grind to play it. Please continue.
I mean, I can always lend an account so that you can just play through the story, or just read the story through yourself without having to play it. But
anyway, we got a muscly guy who's a big old orc. We have a life trigger happy.
And you got a ideally trigger hack. You got essentially something akin to like a rogue and maybe
frontline
a
caster.
Yeah, maybe a druid frontline caster.
Yeah, I'm just going like, I'm kind of paying attention, but in my brain I'm like, okay, well here's if things go down, and they will. When things go down, like what can I rely on and what can I expect and so on.
Yeah. All right, so we're on defense / assault duty. We got two other squads that would be more on their specialties. We are actually. I think the better way to put it would be that we're the artillery. And it's eventually at some point. Goodbye, saxophone.
Goodbye, saxophone. I will miss you.
Let's see. Is it in here? And upon getting to your station, getting to your position, what you call it? You go a little bit further down into the ruins of this tunnel. Further down this tunnel into the deeper parts of the ruins.
Oh.
And you eventually reach a place that opens up, and you can see that that this place is unsettlingly well lit. It feels as though you're standing outside in a desert. Or outside in the deserts of Ambria again.
Yeah.
From the heat to some of the from the heat to the just familiar bitter warmth too, and you can see that the excavators are sort of picking at the ground as they start to line up some explosives.
I'm keeping an eye out for things that crawl on the walls, and then I'm looking for things that come up from the ground. And I'm anticipating like floods. Then I'm anticipating giant hordes of teeming rats. And I just sort of throw a forearm up, and I get my bird to fly around and keep an eye on things.
And that should do him, but you can see that the orc is simply burying his hands into the sand, and you can see some he's starting to draw circles and glyphs connected in and around each other. So we may be dealing with sand crawlers of some kind. Be ready once they've triggered their explosives.
I have a quiver on my back and a small bow. And I take 3 arrows into my hand, and I take into my right hand, and then take the bow in my left, and I just run.
And he begins to walk with the excavators.
My boy! My boy keeps a kind of close position to the dude with the dead.
And you can see him what's glass, right?
Yes. My bird!
Glass nudges him in his head, sort of facing the staircase, and is trying to nudge your feet to shift, and tries to pull you up the stairs, but obviously he can't.
Yeah, I gotta watch. Like he's super nervous, I guess. Yeah, I know.
And
my hackles raise effectively.
And the explosion occurs then, almost in an comedic, like Minecraft effect. The sand that everyone stands on starts to drop.
Oh damn, that's not good.
Starts to drop, and when it's dropping, it's moving towards the center, and in the center you can see what seems to be almost like a what you can see is like layered moths, sort of spiraling around as the sand is entering its mouth, and it's grinding whatever enters it. Like any big pieces of stone that any leftover remnant pieces of large stone or boulders that enter it become sand that they become like it's grinded into sand at your very eyes as it's going further down its jaw.
Oof. That's no good.
And and as that happens, the extractor and the excavator starts screaming as the as Azusa is it seems to blast something at it to freeze the creature. And it seems now it's temporarily made frozen.
Whoa.
Everyone lets it, and the extracting and excavation team lets out a hefty sigh before Zusa looks to you and gives like a look up and down, see if you're fine, and gives a nod before turning back.
Sick. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I didn't lose my control in the sand trap. It was more just like I braced myself to like leap at the last second or take advantage of a new opening or so on and so on.
Yeah.
Right? Like my stance was ready.
Yep. He was just checking if you were fine, if anything happened behind him.
So,
And yeah. And upon its freezing nature, though, the sand around seems to now lower in a less chaotic manner. And you can hear the sound of gears grinding down, but as almost as though you're descending, and you can hear and you can see this. You can see upon it lowering. You can see at the very. You can see that you're now in a large room, a large open area, and there are statues, and there are endless statues of some humanoid figures with sharp ears. An endless
dully
army of them.
I'm not dully amused. No, I'm not dully amused. It's more just like more information to add to the diary of my expeditions. Could be useful at some point. I'm gonna keep my ass up for anything valuable.
Well, no need to look at these while these folks are now sort of like destroy they're messing around with the statues as upon destroying them or looking underneath. It seems that they are laid above some large ores and gems.
Mm.
And they're paying attention to that. You, on the other hand, notice that that further up in this line, that there seems to be upon like when you move your head around, there's something like flickering, reflecting light from that direction.
I'll investigate.
So where are you heading?
Oh, around there's defending this position.
You better be ready back here if people start to come from our side.
I'm your guard. Don't worry. I'll scramble.
And as you head closer, you can take notice that the shift of the ceiling above becomes more dome-like, and looking up at it, if you and just like maybe shape just in your head, it's almost as though you're looking through a kaleidoscope of some sort. just almost as though it's moving. It's moving with you. It's moving with your observance or observation. But in the midst of this, you can see in the center appears to be an empty throne, and on it that was shining at you seems to be a shimmering crown with layers of jewels, just embedded all around it, or embedded all around it.
I think I'll add this to my personal collections. Who knows what insights this might bring?
All right. And as you pick it up, the lights from the kaleidoscopes seem to adjust around as you do so. And upon pocketing it, this whole area goes dark. With this whole chamber goes dark. And you can see a beacon of light coming from where you came from.
No.
Along followed with the sound of multiple explosions and as you start to take notice, you start to hear the sound of rolling stone.
Okay, I was about to say, if you said rolling thunder, I was about to lose my mind.
No, the sound of rolling stone and grinding stone.
Oh, the thing unfroze?
And well, let's see. Make me one roll, and have that roll be your quick.
Okay. I gotta beat an 11. I succeed by 1! Let's go.
Alright, and hunting notice you hear your glass sort of starts to tap on your right shoulder with its wing, and you instinctively sort of shifted your body from right foot, shifting it clockwise. Yeah, rotating it clockwise, almost as a blade of stone sword swings down and creates a crack onto the floor. And with the light, with the dim light now, with the occasional dim light as you adjust the crown, you can see that it is a stone. It is a stone statue. And you can see that more of them start to begin moving, where begin being animated.
I start to activate the run for your life routine, which is, as the title would suggest, running for my life.
Yep. And as you start to run, you can hear more explosives ahead of you, along with screams.
Hmm.
Ugh. Help!
What?
And and as you get closer, you can see from where you come from is another group of seems to be another group of mercenaries opening fire at your extractors and excavators.
Hmm.
And Azusa has a couple arrows in him, but is retaliating back.
We gotta get out of here.
A little bit difficult. A little bit difficult with those folks. Where the hell is your other half of your artillery squad?
I look for Niles.
For these folks to get down here, they would have to have gone past Niles.
Ah. That's worrying. Ash doesn't acknowledge. I just start solving the problem. So we gotta go. We gotta go to them. Like while I am a greedy piece of garbage, I am not a coward.
Well, we've thrown all the explosives we've thrown all of them, our necessary explosives as we could to try and disperse them, but they won't. They just won't budge. What's the sound coming behind you? Coming from behind you.
My eyes just widen a little bit. Like it's bad.
And following with your previous roll, though, glass taps.
I duck.
You duck, and a ballista-sized spear plunges over your head, flies over your head, and impales into the ground.
I
Fear.
Right, my I know. All right, my bird. Can you find Niles?
Try. And glass fly.
Yeah. If he keeps high, he should be fine. And he's only a bird. What are they gonna do? Like, try and kill a bird? It's a bird. I mean, I hope.
All right. Right. You two are capable of fighting.
On my shoulders.
Well, sort of. I mean, I could use a spear decently, but that'll do. And Azusa goes up and hides behind the newly made ballista cover. And starts to work his magic and almost it makes a sharp stone simple like it's just a stick that's sharp at the end, so like a javelin, a stone javelin, and tosses it over to tosses a couple of them over to them. It's life or death for us, so you better be good enough. And he starts to wave his hands, and you can see the smell of sulfur imbues in the air as a stone that he holds starts to glow.
I twitch, and my brain picks up on sulfur explosives. I start getting lower, like in anticipation of what he's gonna do next.
And through your lens, also you can see that it is that the explosives in mind start to represent chains, a chain links of just a chain of collateral things. So it's almost more so of like a cascade of the force of an explosive.
Yeah.
The player might know what this spell may be, but
Oh yeah, I know which one it is. It has the capacity to be the strongest spell in the game.
And
Yeah.
you can see the portion of Zeus's arm starts to become that of resemble more that of a feline, and he moves out of cover, starts to charge forward with the shield. As he throws, as he shoots the shard. Go! Onward! And as arrows are starting to go through start to hit his shield, and he's acting essentially as a means of mobile cover.
Mm-hmm.
And the explosion, you can hear bouncing links of them explode, like thuds and bass booms further ahead, and some of the firepower has lightened up. And as you approach closer, you can see that that these are some of the folks in the tavern just the other day. As they start to run and move forward with as some of them start to move forward with weapons and to strike. I'm gonna just ask you to either make your spellcasting check, or if you're using a weapon check.
Okay. I'm gonna spellcast. Bop. I fail by 1. Incredible. All right.
And that affects. Does that? Is this for your resolve, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Let me see here. And then yeah, but I need a successful resolute check, so it just doesn't happen. So I guess I bite my tongue and I start to pull forward the magic to enchant my arrows, and instead my attention's pulled towards whatever Glass is saying.
Yeah, and what Glass sees as he goes up ahead is Niles and Niles, Jasmine, and some of the other squadrons are essentially slowly being taken out. Essentially, it's only Niles and a couple other folks that are able to fight back, but the sheer number of these folks seems to insinuate that someone big has paid for them to either to take on whatever request that this is. But one of them was able to. Some of these mercenaries starts to approach and start to swing their weapons, and one of them was able to get a hit onto you, but it does not beat your pain threshold.
Sick.
So perhaps just like a maybe using one of the stones nearby. And as you guys push forward, the excavators and the extractors try to push forward, and to some extent they succeeded until the final step at the top before they get taken out. And Zeus eventually grabs you and starts to hold you arms around, clutch both his arms clutched around you as he is charging forward, essentially taking all the cuts and arrows head on. And
Glass will try to like guide Niles out, but the bird will escape.
yeah. And as he takes you, Azusa takes you into the elevation, the elevator, and he pulls the lever to start pulling, moving this contraption back up.
Hmm.
He looks bloodied. Probably won't last another successful hit. All right. You got. He hands you a bag full of some of the goods, or at least some of the things that they were able to extract. And through your eyes, though, at the top, as you try to guide, as Glass tries to guide Niles, the both of them get caught in a net. They get caught in a net, but when they let go, they let Glass go, but they start to pull Niles up. And
my bird.
Yeah, and Glass gets away.
My boy.
But as you eventually reach the top, of the tunnel, of the staircase, meeting with them, you can see that they now have Niles sort of on his. They have Niles on his knees as they hold as the person presumably to be in charge has essentially a line of crossbowmen aimed at you and aiming at him.
No.
Now, if you would be so polite as to hand over your findings, you two and the boy could get out of here.
And that's
And this is a so far unnamed person who seems to be in charge. You don't recognize them upon look, though. They're not around. They're not from around here.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. Given the white and gold attire from him, it seems to be Ambrian. Probably a knight. Or someone of a higher stature. Status.
Great. I look to the others.
Everyone else is essentially wiped, and all that's left is you, Azusa, and Niles.
Hmm.
Or at least for now.
Yeah, I see. I'm gonna slowly reach to my single piece of loot. Talking about this? I hold it up like it's just what they're looking for.
Every findings. So that includes what your extraction team was able to pull.
I don't know anything about them. That was just the instruction. So I just look.
Azusa drops the bag full of ores and jewels. Very shiny jewels.
I cringe. But if it's my, I'm not gonna be stupid here. But if it's my life versus shining, my life is the shiniest object of them all.
Your life is the shiny? Wait, what?
Yeah, my life is the shiniest thing of them all.
Hmm.
So if I had to make a choice between the shiny object and myself, it's myself.
Alright. And he walks forward to pick these up. With the body language that he is completely unworried about the potential, any kind of potential threat that you would impose onto him.
Ash, in her thoughts, goes, all it takes is one hit. I could kill him right here. I could just keep going. I could beat all the crossmen. I could lay him out, but I'm not. I'm not. Like, and then I look to my bird, and I'm like, but I don't want my bird to die. Who will feed him?
What did you see down there?
Then glass. Fuck you. Sorry. That's a response. What's it to you? A bunch of old shit.
Clearly, given that you folks are the ones that made it up, that's either you took care of, either you had taken out the folks sent down there, or they are caught in some sort of trouble. If I had to speak it out.
You said this guy's probably Ambrian?
Given his equipment and brandish colors.
And witch hunters are Ambrian, right? Witch hunters are Ambrian?
Witch hunters are normally Ambrian if they're either Ambrian or they're associated with the church.
Yeah, and the
one of the
churches.
churches.
Again, right? Like, Catholicism is based in Italy. Right? Well, actually, there's no 1-to-1. Should I hate this guy because of my backstory? Is what I'm saying. Would it be reasonable?
It would be reasonable to hate him.
Okay, good.
Reasonable to hate him. Reasonable to have him to be extra cautious around him.
Yeah. And I just say, well, you go down and you see big statues, real big poles.
Animated.
I'm complying. I'm not being sassy. I'm giving information, but I'm cautious.
Animated statues. All right. He pulls out some. He looks back to. He looks back to the cargo, and vehicles. And he turns around with the big grin. I would like to thank. I would like to thank you for your information. It appears that we do not have the resources to engage with further interactions with this ruin.
I bite my tongue. My bird.
But it seems that your team is more than armed with the necessary equipment for us to continue further.
You're gonna take my gear?
Not your current equipment, but your vehicle, your cargo, and anything that isn't on your immediate body is
My bows, my arrows, my short
ours.
sword, a ring, and my bird. Damn.
Will be ours.
How terrible.
Oh, bullshit. All right.
A heart attack? I hope you just suffered a heart attack.
Says Azusa.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Well, Mr. Green, I'm afraid that you're not really in a negotiable position to be throwing out hostile and unflattering language. I'm being friendly here, letting you guys walk another day. All we ask is for your cooperations and compliance. My employers have found an interest to this place, and I believe it'd be in everybody's best interest that it belongs to them. And now, upon me, and you take notice of you take notice that the crown that he's holding is starting to shift colors.
Like
the gold is turning purple.
I see.
Hmm?
With my vast magical sort of intuition, is this like run away because he's about to turn into a shade kind of thing? Or will we see?
This is a runaway. It's the crown, not him.
Okay.
The thing is, as this crown turns purple, you are suddenly being hit with your childhood.
Oh, that's not good. So it's Niles, Azusa, and I.
Yes, and Niles is currently has a bunch of crossbowmen aimed at him, and a bunch more are aimed at where you and Azusa are. Oh, and this knight.
I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna try and. Man, I mean, if it's a big AOE. Well, whatever it's about to happen, it's probably going to hit the people in the crossbow too. So, like, right before I'm going to, like, signal Niles as best I can, like on my mark, right? And then and maybe Niles picks up on it too, or maybe Azusa does too. But like the second that thing pops off, I'm running.
And Niles looks over to you and gives gives a still tries to, gives acknowledgement through his eyes as he can't really afford to move.
Yeah.
And Azusa just runs up and tackles the knight.
Bro.
And of course, as he's running, the arrows are already shooting, already taking shot. But get away from her! And he just and he grabbed. The knight pulls out almost like at quick haste, pulls out a blade at the ready, and he. And Azusa essentially just goes into the the wrestler / martial art like grapple hold, hug hold. And
what a guy! What a bro! I know this guy all of one day, and he's willing to die for sick. What a guy!
And you filthy Ambrians just don't know when to stop. And he just continues walking forward. And the initial barrage of arrows that come through perhaps one mistake or another, some of them almost may hit the knight as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's just so many of them.
Yeah, and the blade is through him, but he is holding him close, keeping the blade and trying to keep the blade in and progressing forward. But you can also see that the crown is also becoming more and more vibrant.
Yeah. Time to go. Because is the purple like turning darker and darker?
It's what was turning into the gold purple color that some gold can turn into given certain elements. It is now becoming obsidian black.
Yep. Time to go. Time to run for my life. Time to leave.
And as the folks are reloading their crossbows or bow and arrows, Niles
move, go.
Niles gets up and Niles gets up and kicks one of the crossbowmen and slides his hand across their blade to their waist to untie himself as he then pulls out a few small bombs and starts to create smoke.
What a guy. Oh, smoke's here. Cool.
No, smoke bombs.
Oh, yeah, I know smoke bomb. Yeah, I know.
And he as you run past him, Azusa, he he tries to wrestle with the knight as he's trying to essentially stop you as well. And Azusa was able to successfully push him down to the ground and starts to run with a blade in him still. But when you turn around, when you turn the other corner, you can hear this violent, distorted explosion that happens. Yeah, and it's more, and you can see the lighting from it is almost like electromagnetic kind of appearance to it, but it's only relative to. It seems to stop at the first thing it makes contact with. So the wall that's in between you and where in the source is stopping it from affecting you. But with the explosion, there was no sound.
Hmm.
You turn to look back, and there is nothing, or there is no one.
Is there like a there's a crater, right?
No, no crater. The ruin still looks the same and everything. Like it's just that there was no sign of arrows being fired, like rain of arrows being fired. There's no there's no like there's no sign of the night. There's no sign of
8
Azusa.
p.m. Eastern is 7 our time.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So get it
Well,
done.
yeah. Look, I can't help it. Already, eventually, it started becoming more cool in my mind. It's just like I really
Yeah.
don't want to cut this short. But
Yep.
you turn over the
Okay, never
corner.
mind. We're starting at 50.
All right. 50. No, we're starting at 8. He says 52 minutes.
32.
Or 32 minutes. So 2, that makes it 30, and then add
Oh,
another
that is
30.
60. Okay, yeah, yeah,
But no signs of the people who were there are there.
yeah. Okay. So the
Like,
people are gone.
yeah, like not even ashes and dust. I mean, nothing.
Damn. Okay.
All that is there is the crown.
Do I pick it up again? I'm thinking about it.
And you can hear him of wrestling, sound of wrestling the leaves from the trees and whatnot. And Niles instinctively pulls out his crossbow, starts to point, and out comes. Out comes. You can see what appears to be a an armed, like a relatively like armored lady, but she goes through via is she's on a weird she's in a wheelchair.
How did she make it all the way out here?
Uh,
Like that's my first like how
Yeah.
what?
yeah, and Niles is also confused, but he gets up and gets up and reveals himself to her. Hands in the air. And who are you?
Uh,
And she glances over and puts her hands. She follows. She puts her hands in the air. You may know me. You may call me as Arava. My full name. My full name will not be disclosed here. For you to emphasize that. Were you with these Ambrians?
I don't
No.
think she is.
No. Not entirely. Arava, I need you to get up and provide me assistance in case more backup arrives. So what do you mean by that? Simply put, the this gesturing to the this place. This is my home. Your home. These ruins. Yes, Yes, if well, you may not know. If you must know, there is also another entrance further in the mountains. In the mountains east of here. This is a less protected area for clear reasons. So did you hire these folks? No. I didn't hire them. That would be some. That would be a person I'd. It'd be best that you remain ignorant as to whom hired them. And ignorance is only gonna get me killed again. So, I will ask again, Arava. Before I put an arrow in between your eyes, who was it that hired them?
Oh, Niles, don't press it.
I'm
just gonna put a hand on her shoulder. Probably for the best.
We still have a job to do. I'm gonna grab whatever we can from what's left.
Yeah.
Keep an eye
Protect
on
yourself.
Keep an eye on her. He starts going. He starts going down to where the scene was.
I'm gonna shake my head a bit to get the feathers on the back of my head straighter.
And she looks to you, glances up and down a bit.
Oh, what's she wearing? Is she wearing expensive clothes?
She's she's mostly just wearing leather armor, loose leather armor in her upper half. The lower half seems to be the lower half is a dress. Or at least a long skirt, at least.
Lady of Art. It's been some time since we've seen each other. Or since we've seen each other last.
Don't call me Lady Avara. Don't call me Lady Arava.
Yes, Arava. And what shall I call you?
Just Arava is fine. Just like how we called each other when we were little.
As you wish, my lady.
I'm not a noble.
Not yet. How did you get out here? I click my tongue. Trying to alleviate the quiet pain I have for her being crippled.
I got here by myself. I'll have you know I have enough upper strength to traverse through the mountains.
Eyebrows go up. All right. Oh, but
and I am more than capable of protecting myself.
I didn't say anything about you needing my protection. And already I'm looking around. Like, uh-oh, something's gonna attack both of us. those people that were after this place, they're nasty business.
Yeah. Supposedly it's the Duke of of your home.
I see now. All right, well, whatever.
A troublesome little miscreant, if you ask me. She's not even old enough. She's barely old enough to. She's barely old enough to be allowed to be drinking. She's barely of drinking age.
So was the queen.
But the queen was put under dire situations.
Good to see you
The
again.
Duke simply demanded a territory, and she got it. Spoiled little thing.
You said you live out here?
I live in the mountains, east.
Well, I'm fresh out of a job.
You seem like you still have a job to do.
My guy is gone. I don't know where he went. There's a protection detail for the big guy.
And that's when you both begin to hear the sound of grinding stone.
That would be the big mouth. We should probably get away from here.
Yes, let's and it it emerges it emerges right
Kidding me.
it emerges right behind you guys. And it seems to be a gargantuan worm of some
Oh
kind.
wow!
Yeah. And it starts to but almost a giant worm, but almost with a weird body where the head is in one piece, but at some point down the segment, it seems to almost look as though it splits into two. That twists itself together.
Hmm. Oh, oh, oh! Doesn't have death touch, and lifelink.
No.
Damn, it totally should though.
Yeah.
Worm, Coil.
But yeah. But yeah, and it's about and it strikes, and you can hear from you can hear scream for a brief moment from Niles at a distance.
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
get
and and its moss is about to drop on y'all, or at the very least more so drop onto Arava being the
yeah.
center point.
I'm gonna interpose myself between Arava and I. If I can, I'm just gonna kick her and her chair back away. I mean, what she can do? Stop from rolling? I mean, she could.
It's more so I imagine like you kick the wheelchair and moves forward. It knocks to its side and she goes into dead Peter pose.
It was.
Like,
She's disabled, man. Come on.
Look. I'm sorry, but dark humor kicked in. Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, and it drops upon you and your vision goes black.
Oh.
And granted, I went and we're gonna have to stop here, and I'm probably gonna have to relay everything else to you before, relay to you everything beforehand because we're way past the threshold that I was hoping for. Because well,
No.
I think it Needless to say, this has been. I'd say this is a good prologue. And more either more information could be added, or I could improvise. But hippies and grippies, I don't really want to apply it into this. But you have anything to say regarding it? Speak now before I stop the recording.
No, pretty good.
All right.
Baller.
Kill the light.